meter wave observatory in Chile, and that's going to open a whole new world of studying star formation, planet formation, anything that's cold or embedded in dust and cold gas. That ALMA, Atacama Large Millimeter Wave Observatory, will just open a whole new window for us. And by GMT being located in Chile allows a real scientific synergy. That in essence, we're just down the street from them in a scientific sense. We're in the same latitude zone, same part of the sky, and so whatever they discover, we'll be able to follow up. What we discover, they will follow up, and the two working together will be greater than the sum of the parts, without a doubt.
So what do you hope the GMT will accomplish for the body of knowledge about our universe, along with its sisters, and also how will it complement the Hubble? I assume will be gone by then, but certainly the JWST, the James Webb Space Telescope.
Well, I certainly hope that it discovers things that are completely unanticipated. That's why we build these new facilities, is to learn what the universe really is about, and it's almost always the case that what we learn is much more interesting and clever and creative than anything we dreamed up to begin with. But we have some very specific scientific goals. We'd like to be able to directly image planets around other stars. On the other hand, we like to look back very early in the universe and understand, when did the first stars form, when did the first galaxies form, how was the universe put together, and how did it go from this nearly uniform sort of sea or soup of gas to what we see now, in which the universe is almost entirely empty space, with a few islands of stars, galaxies. They called them the island universes originally, in which we inhabit, and most of the space between is empty but filled with very hot, very diffuse gas. And working together, when the Webb telling us about the mid-infrared, finding the sources, the GMT and the other ELTs actually measuring their spectra, chemical abundances, ages, and so on, really unlock sort of the mysteries of the early universe. And I sincerely hope and expect that we'll find out that our current theories have some serious shortcomings to them. That's what makes this exciting. By the time this is done, well, I'm already way past my prime, but I'll be even further past my prime by that time. But I still have every intention of doing science with this telescope, every intention. But it's the people who are in college now, not even yet in graduate school. They'll be the young whippersnappers who will turn the world upside down when they get their hands on these new facilities.
Pat, thanks so much.
It's my pleasure.
Patrick McCarthy is the director of this project called the Giant Magellan Telescope, already taking shape in shops here in Pasadena and elsewhere around the world. Hopefully, as he said, first light and precursor to science in less than 10 years. We will check out the lights in the night sky, the current night sky, with Bruce Betts in this week's edition of What's Up in just a few moments. Standing out in front of the now official headquarters of the Planetary Society. I don't know if it was official before the ribbon was cut today, but we've just wrapped up the Planetary Society open house, and several hundred people, I think, had a great time.
Wait, I gotta go back. Was I supposed to be working?
What was
the time
that?
We moved in here?
You were all day upstairs today working hard. You were demonstrating the life experiment for people. It was yeoman's work. I was impressed.
Thanks. Yes, it was 3.5 hours of straight talking, which is why I'm excited now to be doing Planetary Radio with you, Matt.
What a finish. What a killer finish. He's Bruce Betts, the Director of Projects for the Planetary Society, and he's going to tell us about the night sky right now.
Night sky, still got that craziness partying over. Hey, we'll be able to see it really soon. If we look in the west, super bright Venus being the thing to target on, and then if you look above Venus, you have Mars and Saturn kind of moving back and forth with each other, doing a little dance. You can also check out Jupiter rising in the early to mid-evening in the east, so spin your head on that swivel and go to the other side of the sky, and the super bright object there will be Jupiter, high overhead in the middle of the night. Perseid meteor shower peaking around the 12th, 13th, and you can check it out for a few days before, a few days after. One of the best showers of the year. Go out, stare up, look at the sky, watch the little streaks of light going across the sky. We move on to this week in space history. We had a couple of big launches, one of them 5 years ago. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, doing great still, taking data at Mars. And a little bit longer ago, amazingly to me, 20 years ago, Magellan, not a launch, but Magellan first went into orbit around Venus. On to random space.
You are beat. And it's too bad because there were some people who wanted to do Random Space Fact, but they had to take off. So I think we're closing the place down.
Fairly well-known one, but then we move on to something a little more obscure. The Earth is spinning and doing that precession thing, always likened to a top precessing. So right now the North Pole points at Polaris, but other times it doesn't. But here's the little bit more obscure thing. Apparently, back in the time of ancient Greeks, the mid-northern latitudes, like ancient Greece, could actually check out the Southern Cross. But because of the precession since then, hey, not so much. So enjoy it for us down in those southern latitudes.
So someday it's going to be the Central Cross again.
I don't think it'll go that far.
All right, let's go on to the trivia contest.
Okay, we asked you in what I thought and had hoped would be a pretty straightforward thing. How many solar arrays does the International Space Station have attached to its truss? How'd we do, Matt?
Now, this time, I am convinced you were not making any attempt to be devious or tricky, but people did get somewhat confused because there are different ways to define this, but NASA says that there are 16 arrays. Now, we know that, in fact, because we have a wonderful image of it against the surface of the sun, and there, quite visible, are all 16 of these, and we'll thank Peter Carr for sending this to us. So, 16 solar arrays. And our winner, by the way, is Joe Hardy, first-time winner from Centerline, Michigan, and he has won himself a Planetary Radio T-shirt. We also learned that it generates 110 kilowatts. A lot of power. That's enough, we were told, by Ian Jackson, to run 20 Hubble Space Telescopes.
Or one hairdryer.
Is that why the lights dim in your neighborhood?
Hey, with this long hair, I gotta work hard on getting it dry.
It's worth every moment.
I do have good hair, don't I? Anyway, we move on to the next trivia contest. And in celebration of the funky solar things that have been going on lately, solar storms and such, what are the 3 parts of a typical coronal mass ejection, or CME? Now, it's a little tricky, and I'm just going to say it up front. Therefore, it's not tricky anymore. Not all CMEs have all 3 parts, but a typical one has 3 parts. What are they?
The id, the ego, and the superego?
Oh, God, now I have to come up with a new question. Nice.
You have until the 16th of August, Monday, August 16th at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, to get us this answer, and let's give away that other great pair of Celestron astronomical binoculars.
Get out of town. We're giving away the other Celestron astronomical binoculars?
They're gathering dust. They're sitting there in the office. I think we ought to put them out in the hands of some people who will appreciate them.
I thought you said I could have them.
I never said that.
Okay, let's give them away. So go to planetary.org/radio, find out how to enter. All right, everybody, go out there, look up the night sky, and think about those little annoying bugs that fly around your face. Thank you, and good night.
They have been bugging me for hours out here, and I'm going to go home where we don't have them anymore. He's Bruce Betts, the Director of Projects for the Planetary Society. He joins us every week here for What's Up. Author Mary Roach has just written Packing for Mars. We'll talk with her next week on Planetary Radio, which is produced by the Planetary Society in Pasadena, California, and made possible in part by a grant from the Kenneth T. and Eileen L. Norris Foundation. Keep looking up.